The air in Charleston, South Carolina, was thick enough to wear. It was a humid Saturday afternoon in late June, the kind where the scent of blooming magnolias hangs heavy and sweet, mixing with the salt breeze from the harbor. The Magnolia Gardens wedding venue was the jewel of the city. With its towering white pillars, manicured lawns, and ancient oak trees draped in Spanish moss, it was the place where dreams were bought and sold. Today, it was set for the wedding of the year. White silk ribbons fluttered in the breeze, crystal glasses clinked, and a string quartet played softly in the background. But just outside the gilded iron gates, on the hot public sidewalk, there was a different reality. 6-year-old Lily sat on an overturned bucket. She looked like a wilting flower in the heat. She wore a faded yellow sundress that had been washed so many times the fabric was thinning. Her canvas shoes were scuffed gray, the laces knotted in 3 places. On her lap, she held a hand-woven basket filled with red roses. Lily wasn't playing. This was work. A grandmother, the woman who raised her, was at home with a cough that rattled the windows. The medicine cost $40. Lily had sold 3 roses all morning. She had $15. She needed to sell the rest. Fresh roses, she whispered to the passing guests, her voice small and dry. Beautiful roses for the wedding? Most people walked past her as if she were invisible, their eyes fixed on the grand entrance. Lily didn't complain. She just wiped the sweat from her forehead and straightened the stems, trying to make them look as proud as the flowers inside the gates. The peace of the afternoon was shattered by a screech. Not a car, but a voice. No, no, no. The light is all wrong here. Move the limo. Vanessa stepped out of the white stretched limousine like she was stepping onto a battlefield. At 28, Vanessa was a vision of expensive perfection. Her custom-made lace gown cost more than Lily's grandmother made in 5 years. A diamond tiara sparkled in her blonde hair, but her face ruined the image. It was twisted into a scowl of pure stress and entitlement. She was flanked by 3 terrified bridesmaids and a photographer who looked ready to quit. "We need to shop by the gate," Vanessa barked. The rustic aesthetic, now. She marched toward the iron gates, her massive dress rustling like dry leaves. She posed, turning her best side to the camera, fixing a fake smile on her face. "Okay, hold it," the photographer said. "And perfect. Wait." Vanessa shrieked, breaking the pose. Her eyes locked onto the sidewalk. "What is that?" She pointed a manicured finger at Lily. Lily froze, clutching her basket. She tried to smile, thinking maybe the pretty lady wanted a flower. "Roses, ma'am?" "Only $5. Get out of my shot," Vanessa screamed, storming over. "You look dirty. You're ruining the background. Who let a beggar sit here?" I'm not begging," Lily stammered, standing up. "I'm selling flowers for my Nana." "I don't care about your Nana." Vanessa loomed over the child. "This is my day. My photos need to be perfect. And you, in that rag, are an eyesore. Go away." Lily took a step back, her lip trembling. But "it's a public sidewalk" dot as the wrong thing to say. Vanessa's eyes went wide with rage. "Public? You think you have rights here? I rented this entire block." Without warning, Vanessa grabbed the basket from Lily's hands. "No," Lily cried. "Please." Vanessa didn't listen. With a look of disgust, she turned the basket upside down. The red roses, Lily's hard work, her grandmother's medicine, tumbled onto the dirty concrete. But Vanessa wasn't done. She lifted her white satin heel and stomped on them. She crushed the petals, grinding them into the dust until they were nothing but red smears. "There," Vanessa sneered, tossing the empty basket at Lily's feet. "Now you have nothing to sell. Leave." The sound of the crushing flowers seemed louder than the string quartet. Lily stared at the red mess on the ground. It wasn't just flowers. It was the cough syrup. It was the heating bill. It was her failure. She dropped to her knees, frantically trying to salvage a stem, a petal, anything. But they were destroyed. My roses, she sobbed, her tears falling onto the hot pavement. Why did you do that? Vanessa adjusted her tiara, checking her reflection in a window. Call security if she doesn't move, she told the photographer. The wedding guests by the gate watched. Few looked shocked. One woman covered her mouth, but nobody moved. Nobody wanted to upset the bride. The bystander effect was heavier than the humidity. Lily was alone, small, and broken in the shadow of a $10,000 dress. If your heart breaks for this injustice, if you believe that kindness is the only true beauty, please take a moment right now to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's show the world that goodness still wins. Vanessa turned back to the camera. Okay, let's try this again. Make sure you crop out the trash on the floor. She smiled. The flash went off. But then, another sound cut through the air. Whoop whoop. It was a siren. Short, loud, and demanding. Vanessa rolled her eyes. Oh, great. Now a noise ordinance? But the noise didn't stop. It grew. The deep, guttural roar of a diesel engine shook the ground. The guests turned around. Turning the corner, lights flashing red and white, came engine 55. It was a massive ladder truck, gleaming red and chrome, taking up the entire width of the street. It didn't drive past. It slowed down. The air brakes hissed violently, right in front of the limousine, blocking it completely. Hey! Vanessa yelled, waving her arms. You can't park there. Move that thing. You're blocking the limo. The door of the truck opened. A heavy black boot hit the pavement. Out stepped Captain Miller. He was a veteran firefighter, his face smeared with soot from a morning call, his tan bunker gear heavy and stained with the badge of hard work. He was 6'3" and built like a brick wall. Behind him, 3 other firefighters jumped down. Rookie, Tex, and Big Mike. They looked like giants compared to the tuxedo-clad groomsmen. Captain Miller didn't look at the limo. He walked straight to Lily. He knelt down, his heavy gear crunching. You okay, sweetheart? His voice was rough, but gentle. Lily looked up, tears streaking her dirty face. She stepped on them. All of them. Captain Miller looked at the crushed red smears on the concrete. His jaw tightened. He stood up slowly, turning to face the woman in white. Vanessa stormed over, her face red. Excuse me, officer, fireman, whatever you are. Move your truck. This is a private event. Captain Miller looked at her. He looked at her pristine dress, her tiara, her angry face. Then he looked at the crying child. Private event? Miller asked calmly. Looks like a crime scene to me. Crime? Vanessa scoffed. Don't be dramatic. It was just some weeds. Miller took a step closer. Vanessa took a step back. The smell of smoke and sweat coming off the firefighter was overwhelming. It was the smell of reality crashing into her fantasy. That wasn't weeds, Miller said, pointing a gloved finger at the ground. That was a child's livelihood. You destroyed property. And you assaulted a minor. I did not touch her. Vanessa shrieked. You broke her heart, Miller said. And in my book, that's worse. Vanessa looked around for support. Security. Get them out of here. But the security guard was looking at his shoes. Nobody was going to tell a fire crew to leave. Miller turned to his crew. Tex, bring the boot. Tex ran to the truck and grabbed a fill-the-boot charity bucket they used for fundraising. It was heavy, filled with cash from their morning drive. Miller turned to Vanessa. You worried about your photos? About how you look? He leaned in. Lady, you're the ugliest thing I've seen all day. I just came from a dumpster fire. The guests gasped. Vanessa's mouth fell open. Miller turned his back on her. He went to Lily. He took the heavy boot filled with cash, hundreds of dollars, and placed it in her hands. This was for the station coffee fund. Miller smiled. But I think you need it more. Consider your inventory sold out. Lily's eyes went wide. But this is too much. It's just roses. It's not for the roses, Miller said. wiping a tear from her cheek with his thumb. "It's for being brave, then." Miller looked at the photographer. "Hey, camera guy." The photographer jumped. "Yes, sir?" "Take a picture of this," Miller said, putting his arm around Lily. "Real beauty." The photographer didn't hesitate. He snapped a photo. The soot-covered firefighter and the little girl in the yellow dress, smiling amidst the crushed flowers. "Now," Miller shouted to Vanessa, who was fuming, "we're going to stay here and make sure this young lady gets home. Safe, Don. So unless you want a fire truck in every single one of your wedding photos, I suggest you go inside and learn some manners." Vanessa looked at the massive red truck blocking her view. She looked at the guests, whispering. She burst into tears, not of remorse, but of defeat, and ran inside the gate stop. Vanessa got her perfect venue, but she lost her dignity. The photo of Captain Miller and Lily went viral the next day. The local community found out about Lily's grandmother and raised enough money to pay for her medicine for a year. As for Vanessa, let us just say her perfect wedding is now remembered as the day she got owned by Engine 55. Kindness is the only thing that makes us beautiful. You can wear diamonds and silk, but if your heart is cold, you're just dressed up and ugly. So, I have to ask, if you were a guest at that wedding and you saw Vanessa stomp on the flowers, what would you have done? Would you have stayed silent? Or would you have spoken up? Let us know in the comments below, and remember, true heroes don't wear capes or tuxedos. They wear bunker gear. Thanks for watching.